Alrighty, the top 20 worst albums of 2024. This has some of the worst pop songs on here. I mean, the lyrics, the vocals, it's all just whack, and it's really hard to just say with a straight face how tolerable it is. It's not, honestly. I mean, the only reason why I'm putting this at the start of the list, not because it's just an EP, and I know that, it's all albums, but I'm counting this one just because it is really just rancid. And also, there's only like one song here that is basically a guilty pleasure. 6 9 is back once again, and honestly, it's very obnoxious. I don't know if it's him or the features that are on here. It's basically just sounds like you're trying so hard to just make something really wacky and just acting all like, oh, you're going insane. But apparently, at the end of the day, you're just basically just being an idiot and just apparently just making a blast of yourself. Honestly, I just can't get into the Sexy Red album like that. I mean, it's just her talking about the same old stuff, and personally, I just can't stand her voice throughout. I mean, I do like some of her stuff. I mean, like the features and all that, but like all the way through, it basically makes it feel like her voice sometimes gets me a headache, and honestly, I just basically don't like how she keeps saying the same old stuff all over again with that voice. It's basically very very annoying. This Lil Dicky soundtrack, I mean, obviously though, it's very goofy and all, but like it's to the point where it's like a really weird. I mean, I don't know how the hell he comes up with those stuff, but like, okay. Blueface. I don't know how in the world he sounds so boring on here. I mean, he sounds sleepy and not in the mood. It's just weird all the way through. Most of it is just him talking about, oh, I want like freedom and all that, and basically he's just still talking about like some of it just talking about the same old stuff, but like overall, I mean, don't free him, please. I don't know which is worse, him doing this or him being offbeat. This is just a mess. I mean, the collabs are just sometimes it works, sometimes it just doesn't make sense. The production is very, very roughhousing sometimes, or maybe it just sounds god awful. And also Jacob Collier doing like these rock style type of vibes. I mean, the way he says like there's no such thing as good music or bad music. Well, this is one of your examples of, I guess, good music, bad music. You know why I choose? Not good music. It's Rich Kid once again. I mean, his bars and everything like that is once again effortless and doesn't really do anything, and sometimes can be really corny. Um, the features on here are a bit all over the place. I mean, I don't know how in the world he got those big artists to be on this album right here, but the instrumental sounds pretty not bad. I mean, it would have sounded better if it's on a different rapper, but I mean, the way he's doing it is just not worth drinking anything. I mean, I'm surprised the guy is not falling off yet. So Ian released 2 albums this year. I choose this one mostly because like everything about it is so dang irritating. Like, oh god, his voice is just awful. Like, I don't know, like all the way through, just basically hearing all that. It's just basically saying, oh yeah, hopefully will be a banger, but overall, the only banger that I'm having is the ring in my ears. This Yee's album is honestly one of those things that I would rather just not get myself worth living for, because basically though the stuff he's putting out right now is just not the right moves, honestly, and it basically sounds like he's still on a way to just at least get himself into a right spot, but overall it doesn't work. Yeah, this one is just like another one of those albums that basically really see that Katy Perry is just not doing good as she used to. I mean, I'm not gonna say just retire, but you can do other things. God, I mean, I don't really remember this one quite too much outside of like how nonsense it is, and also how Lucky's voice is just so mumbling with that really awful production. It basically just sounds like really some distorted stuff right there. Honestly, it's basically just feels like, yeah, I would want to just make something messy. I mean, just like a Summers album, honestly. This is all over the place. I mean, at first this sounds like it's going to be a hyper pop album, but like, after a while it goes into R&B, it goes to regular pop, but like the production kind of ruins it, and also her vocals doesn't really sound all that great with it. Also, the features on this as well, outside of Playboy Cardi, I mean, everything else just is not doing all that well, honestly. I mean, this is just scanned and just not really full flat out. This is basically just like, if you want to go to Miami or just have like a lot of fun with it, just, have fun with it. But overall, as a whole, don't do this. We have Vultures 1, which is already enough a bad one, but now we got Vultures 2, which, I mean, I didn't really have high hopes coming into it, but now I'm still not liking it. And especially, like, the production and the delivery on both Ye and Ty Dolla $ign on here, and also the features as well, is just so messy, and it's pretty much unlistenable. Also, basically, Kanye has Aeon in it. Ew. We already have the first one, and honestly, though, I don't think we need the second one, just because, like, apparently we don't know if it's going to be that well, and this is the results of it. Also, there's, like, not too much features comparing to the first one, and basically, though, like, it just sounds like to me that Uzi's trying to impersonate those artists sounding like they were featured on there, but apparently they are not. Now, I have nothing against Jax as a person, but like her music isn't all that great to me, but the whole thing is just so childish. It kind of reminds me of like Melanie Martinez, honestly, and God, like everything on it, just like the sampling of like childish stuff, and also the "I am telling you right now." It's just basically just it's weird. It's weird to have those stuff, and honestly, though, listening to it as an adult makes it really like 10 times more cringe-inducing. 3 words: worst collab ever, bro. This is just the worst drill music here. I mean, his voice and delivery, and also just like everything in between with the lines and all that, is just a mess. And also, just for some reason, it feels like he's trying too hard to just be like the best drill rapper of all. Yeah, it's just so blowed. The title stands out for itself. I mean, honestly, this is just Ronnie Radke just saying a lot of stuff about him being hypocritical and egotistical, and also other type of stuff like that. Just basically making him trying to defend himself, and also trying to say that he's a monster and he tried to change himself, but apparently though he still is kind of like the monster here. Honestly, I mean, especially the music you're making. The music right here is just like the example of how like not improving you are, and just basically just continuing to do the same thing for probably the fans to like. But overall, I mean, it's just a mess. It's just a mess, and I mean that's all I can say right here. So there you go.